but stand by, because the good-looking race cars are about to be sent on their way down to turn 1 for the last time. Here we go. It's Extreme SuperCars driven by Dunlop, and lighting those Dunlops up the best off the line was Charles Oranges. He's got a slight advantage now over Jonathan DeToy, and round the outside comes Charles Visser into third, outgunning Gianni Giannacaro this time. We're on board with Jackson as we watch Ricky Giannacaro just ahead of him there for fifth as they head towards turn 2. It's Visser putting pressure onto Jonathan DeToy incredibly. A Class A car. Oh, what a dive there from Ant Blunden, forcing his way up the inside in the third of the Bulls, getting through on that Porsche and getting a little bit of a gap and squeezing through to get ahead of Roy Aubrey, and joining him was Yatsis. So Yanni Hatzi coming through there like a rocket ship, diving that little Nissan R32 up the inside and following the Lamborghini through. London opened up the door, and Yanni Hatzi said, "I'll go with you, but." Here comes Gigi back at Visser down into turn 5, Cape Town corner. Around the outside, and then tucks in behind him as they exit the corner. Slightly different line there from Gianni, gets the drive, maybe gets the whole shot here. I mean the slingshot, not the whole shot. The slingshot there on the Porsche. Looking to try and overtake down into turn 1, possibility that might happen. Aubrey going to try and return the favour onto Yatsi. Yanni Hatzi having such an incredible drive here in that little Nissan of his. And then, as I said, there at the back, kind of expected to see that. Much better run coming out of Martin Prince as he closes down onto the back end of that Z3, or Z4, I beg your pardon, of Ulisana. And now it's Waylon Folchenk putting pressure onto Jimbo Giannacaro. So the Butast Exotics car fighting with the Bisque Nissan R35, the R32 with the Porsche just ahead of them, and then it's a Porsche versus BMW Z4 battle behind that. 2 by 2 they go racing here in the final stages of today's racing, and the last heat of Extreme SuperCars driven by Dunlop. Oh, here we go. That's what I like to see. Side by side, a little bit of room given by each driver. Not a lot, just enough to get through there with a little bit of possible touching going into the kink. Oh man, yes, Gigi's through. I thought that might happen. Charles was looking to go defensive, but he was on the outside line, and Gianni had that inside line which he capitalized on, forcing Visser a little wider out of the kink and having to back out to let Gianni through. It's not over yet though. Visser's coming back for more. Charles Visser around this track is a very dominant factor. Lots of time in the saddle, lots of time in different race cars, and certainly will be looking to try and come back to the lead of Class A if he can. Ricky Giannacaro just maintaining the gap there on Marius Jackson in the MJR Audi. So we got Audi's top and 4th in the Class A battle. In between, we've got a Porsche and a Lamborghini. At the front end, it's AMG Mercedes-Benz with Charles Oranges at the wheel. Out of the Stradale camp, running for Ravenel and Stradale Racing. His stablemates on his tail, arch rival in this championship for GT3s for the last couple of seasons. Jonathan DeToy in the Oyster Catcher, Trans-Africa Racing, and Stradale Lamborghini Huracan. Do love the words on the side of that little Nissan. Send it. That's exactly what he's doing. He is sending that Nissan in full flight at the moment to try and catch the Porsche right in front of him. Lights flashing there on Roy Aubrey's car. I'm not quite sure what that means. Is he warning Ant Blunden that he's coming? And you've got Waylon Folchenk closing on Jimbo. Jimmy Giannacaro in the R35. Trying to fend off that Porsche's attack from behind of Folchenk. Ulisana on his own in Class D, but he's in a bit of a fight with Martin Prince. Similar fight to what's happening here at the front end of GT3s. Orangi set the pace, he's gone to 11.9. I don't think we're going to see the 10s out of these cars today because of the heat, but certainly a magnificent effort being put in here by Charles Oranges and by Jonathan du Toit as they head down into turn 1 again, completing another lap. 4 down and 8 to go. This is a case of Jonathan waiting on a similar vein to what Charles did in race 2. It didn't pay off for Charles in the end. He eventually ended up having to set off a second as he could not find a way past on Jonathan du Toit. Can du Toit find a way through now on the Mercedes? That's the question that everybody's going to be asking here into the last couple of laps. Not quite at halfway just yet, but we're nearly there. And du Toit, well, he's tried hard for now and still not found an answer to the pace from that Ravenel Stradale AMG Mercedes-Benz. These two, of course, are the GT3 spec cars. A fantastic run here, and all good in the hood for the front end of Extreme SuperCars. Work being done by the top two now as Gianni Giannacaro tries to get away, and he's done that on Charles Visser. Visser's fought hard, but he's falling into the clutches now of Ricky Giannacaro. So I wonder if Charles' first stint, where he took the victory in Class A, might not have been a tyre management type style drive that he needed. Are those Dunlops starting to feel the effects now of qualifying and 3 heats on the Porsche, particularly with the driving style that Charles Visser puts into that car? He certainly works his machinery way past what it should be capable of doing, and asks a lot of the car and tyres. And maybe he's asked too much, which is going to allow Ricky Giannacaro to maybe close the gap down on him. Down onto the brakes come the leaders for turn 5, Cape Town corner. This is a phenomenal run here from these two. They've gone 1 for 1. It's going to be advantage whoever takes the victory here as they head to the next round. Arungi's du Toit, Giannacaro, G first, then Visser, then Giannacaro are right behind him. And he's literally right behind him now. The gap between Visser and Giannacaro has come down dramatically. It's literally a couple of hundredths of a second. I think Ricky is on the attack and looking to pounce possibly here into turn 2. We'll watch in the background, see if you see the pink car first. Yes, he's through. He's got through. Into Cashel corner, Ricky Giannacaro has found a way past and moves up to second place in Class A behind his brother Gianni. Not enough time to catch Gianni, of course, I don't think, unless Gianni has a problem. But it'll be Giannacaro's 1-2 here. And if my maths is right, it should be Gianni from Ricky from Charles in the overall standings, if I've done the maths right in my head. Ricky Giannacaro absolutely loving this Lamborghini of his. And looking forward to, of course, piloting it throughout the season, along with his brother Gianni and dad Jimbo. Their fourth stablemate, of course, comes from an original BMW hierarchy, and in that BMW Z4 is pretty much at home. Uli Sana in the G&H Transport car, running for Class D honours today. So another lap completed, and that brings us just into the second half of the race. Martin Prince has got through on Uli Sana at the back. So Sana trying to come back now at the Porsche in the Z4. I was expecting to see a couple more of the Sports and GT type cars from the local Power Series joining us as part of the Extreme SuperCars today, but of course they had a big meeting only a couple of weeks ago, or I think in fact it might have even been last weekend. So it's possibly why there's not as many of them joining the Extreme SuperCars here today. So we got 4 to go. 2/3 distance done. are we going to see a little bit of a turn up of the wick now from Jonathan du Toit? Jackson's view as he heads down the Porsche straight away. And on the brakes, just after the 50-meter mark, turns into Holeshoek as the leaders come out of Castral Corner. Gianni still in third, just picked up the yellow livery in the background of the Bisque Logistics car, that Audi R8 of Gianni Giannacaro, leading Class A. His brother Ricky still second in Class A, second of the G&H Transport cars, that one in Ravenol colours. And that's Ricky Giannacaro's pink Lamborghini Huracan. Doesn't look like Uli Sana is going to have an answer here to Martin Prince unless the leader's catching him now, giving him a bit of an opportunity maybe to make up some ground. As they come through there, they might slow Martin up and bring him back into the clutches there of Uli Sana. Remember, Prince is in a B-class car, Sana in a D-class car, so we did expect a bit of a fight between them. Here come those leaders. Blue flags and lights will be flashing there for Uli Sana and for Martin Prince to warn them that the top two are on their way. With 2.5 laps to go, diving on the inside, both of them get through relatively unscathed. No, easily done in the end. Uli Sana saw them coming, moved out of their way. Martin Prince will probably do the same thing down the back straight, realizing that that steam train's on its way. Led out by the Mercedes-Benz AMG of Charles Arangis. Easily done in the end. That was nice driving there from Martin. Just giving enough room for both cars to get through and not to hinder their battle. They'll be coming up on Jimbo Giannacaro now pretty shortly as you watch Jackson coming out of turn 5. RS Jackson looking for a 4th place in Class A. Nice little test run there for that car. Getting some valuable track time and seat time, as you heard in the interview during the break. Then onto the brakes comes Gianni Giannacaro. He's coming up on the back end of Martin Prince, who'll also just move out of the way there for that Bisque Logistics R8. They're coming up on the battle between Volchenk and Jimbo Giannacaro with a lap and a half to go. Too much of an issue, they'll probably catch them down the straight and pass them down that back straightaway. And then up the road from them, they'll be heading into the clutches of Yanni Hatzi. Lights flashing. Nicely done there from the Porsche driver. Volchenk seeing them coming. Opens up the door, allows Charles through, going to allow probably Jonathan through as well. Jimbo will move over. Can't really roll out though because he's got Volchenk on his tail. So Jimbo will be late on the brakes, but not as late as Charles was as he goes around the outside. Oh, he has forced Jonathan a long way around there. That's cost Jono a little bit of time. And he runs onto the dirt as well. Oh, Jono won't be too happy about that. Jimbo didn't make it easy for him. Made it a lot easier there for Charles. And now he's stuck behind the Nissan. That's going to be enough to give Charles Arangis a comfortable run to the line. Forced wide out of turn 1 by Jimbo Giannacaro and then caught the Nissan into turn 2 with nowhere to go. So Arangis will start his final lap, or end his final lap I should say, with a comfortable margin, which will give him the lead of this championship heading to the next round. 2 wins out of 3 today for the Ravenol and Sudale Motorsport AMG Mercedes-Benz GT3. And he'll bring it to the line for the victory easily in the end. Support from the sidelines there as Jonathan du Toit comes across the line. Jimbo just holding Gianni up over the line there slightly. But Gianni will still get first place in Class A, of course. And then it's Ricky Jonakara for second, and Charles Fisser for third in Class A, with Jackson behind that. Class B will go to Aubrey, not too far behind the two of them as he crosses the line. And he wins out over Jimbo Jonakara. Yanni Hatsi will take Class C honours ahead of Waylon Volchenk. And then it'll be Uli Sana who will take Class D down in 13th overall.